Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk all about makeup brushes. I always get a lot of questions of what's the best foundation brush or eyeshadow brush, so I wanted to lay everything out on the table and tell you which ones are my favorite, what I use for what, and which ones that I recommend. And the best part is that none of my brushes are really expensive. They're all affordable. Some of them obviously are going to be a little bit more expensive, but I don't use any really high-end brushes. So let's start with face brushes. The first tool I'm going to mention is one that I feel like people are always weary to buy because they don't think it's worth the price and they're just like, oh, I don't know, but once you try it, you will never go back. And it's the Beauty Blender. So I just got done using this. Half of my brushes are going to be dirty because I just use them, but this is the best blending tool for foundation and concealer. Now, every single day that I wear makeup, I always use this for concealer. There hasn't been a day gone by in the past almost year that I haven't used this for my concealer unless I didn't have it, because this is my second one. I actually lost my first one, but my first one lasted me, I would say, 8 months, and I think it could still be going. And I know some people's break. I use the Beauty Blender cleanser, so I highly recommend investing in that. So my next brush is my favorite foundation brush ever, and it's the Sigma Flat Top Kabuki. It's the F80. This, I can't harp on it enough, is the best foundation brush for everybody. You can use it for liquid or powder. And the shape has a lot to do with it because it's flat. It makes buffing in the skin really easily. Also, it's synthetic. So the synthetic fibers and the hairs won't grab the foundation and it won't get lost inside the brush. It helps distribute it on the face so the foundation will sit on top of the fibers. My next favorite foundation brush is the buffing brush from Real Techniques. You can buy these at Ulta. This came in a core collection set. It is $17.99 for 4 or 5 brushes, and it's great for foundation. I don't think it buffs in the product as well as the Sigma F80. Sometimes this can be a little bit streaky with more liquid foundations, but I love it and it does a great job. My next brush is such a bargain. It's the e.l.f. powder brush, and this is, I believe, $3. This was the first foundation brush I ever had and I was in love with it, and I forget about it sometimes. But if you can't get any of the brushes I'm mentioning that I like better, or if you just want to try something, you're starting out, this is a great starting out brush because it's only $3. You can use it for powder. I used to use it to set my foundation and liquid because this was the only foundation brush I had when I first started using makeup, but it's a great deal. So now that I've talked about foundation brushes, I want to talk about some powder or setting brushes. So I have 3 to show you, and the first is from Real Techniques. This is actually the blush brush, and I've used it for blush, but I prefer to use it for setting foundation. It's not very dense. This one you can buy on its own. I think maybe it's about $10, maybe less. It's not really dense, so it makes setting your T-zone or your foundation really easy, and it doesn't disturb the product on your face. Next is the Real Techniques powder brush. This was the first powder brush I ever got, and I love it. It's really fluffy and really soft, and this one's really dense. But if you can't get Real Techniques where you live, I also have the Eco Tools. I think this is the bronzer brush. This is one of the softest brushes that I own. I believe it's synthetic hair, but it feels like real hair. And sometimes with synthetic, it can feel kind of scratchy, but this is extremely soft. I love to use this for powder foundation. I used to use the Neutrogena, the loose powder foundation, and I would use this all the time, so this is another great alternative. So lastly, for the face brushes, let's talk about some color. So I'll tell you what I love to contour with. I have 3 that I just can't live without for contouring. The first is the contour brush from Real Techniques. This came in the core collection that I mentioned with the buffing brush, and I love this for contouring. Now, I don't really use this for powder products to contour. I mainly use this for cream. So I've been loving the Pro Sculpting Cream from MAC I always mention. This is a dream with that product, and since it's a little tapered dome and it's small, it just fits in the hollows of your cheeks perfectly. The other thing that I love to use this for is highlighting, because since it is synthetic, it's not gonna lose the product in the brush, it just puts it right there. So I love this for highlighting the cheekbones and the center of the face. My next favorite brush to contour is my Sigma F05. I just can't live without this. This is one of the only real hair brushes that I have, and I love it so much. It's great at blending out a contour so you don't have really harsh lines, and it's just amazing. And then lastly is a Sonia Kashuk brush. This is the Duo Fiber brush. I believe they call it the highlighting brush, but it's the biggest size that they have. They also have a smaller one. And I love this to contour with because you can use just the rounded edge to contour and you get a gorgeous line. I also love this for blush, and the thing about this Duo Fiber brush is that since it's not very dense, it airbrushes the product out because just the ends of the bristles are blending out. So this is a great brush. I think this is around $10 at Target. Then my last favorite face brush is the e.l.f. blush brush. This is $1 to $3. I can't really remember, but I have like 3 of these because it's great for putting color on the face and it's really precise. So if you're working with a product that's extremely pigmented, this is great because you can really place it and then blend it out. Another thing that I use this for, this is why I have so many of them, is that I use this to set my concealer under my eyes. It's the perfect size and it's tapered on one side, so I put that right under the eye and it's perfect. I love it for setting concealer. Okay, so now let's move on to the eyes. So brushes for eyeshadow I think are almost more important than the eyeshadow that you use because you can use the best, most pigmented eyeshadow, but if you don't have good tools, I feel like it's hard to get that blended out gradient. People always ask me how I blend stuff and it's not me, it's the brushes. So I'm going to start off with my 2 must-have blending brushes that I couldn't do my eyeshadow without. I know some people can use their fingers. I'm personally not that talented, so I need these brushes. So the first is the Sigma E40. This is hands down the best blending brush. I think it's way better than MAC's. It's so good. I want like 5 more of these and I will get a lot more of these soon. So what I use this for is to blend out transition colors and to blend out my eyeshadow lines. It's not cute when you have a line of color that's harsh. It doesn't look good. You want it to be a gradient from your darker colors to your light or whatever look you're going for. And I barely run it over my color and it's completely blended out. So my other must-have eyeshadow brush, if I could only have 2, would be these 2, is the Sigma E25. This is the blending brush that I cannot live without for my crease. So what I do is I turn it sideways to put the color in the crease, and then it also blends out the product at the same time. You can turn it so it's up and down and also blend it out that way. But I mean, I can't live without these 2. It blends out the products fabulously and they're really affordable. I believe they're both $10 or $12, which you just can't beat it. And I've had these for a year and they look amazing. Now for eyeliner. This is the Sonia Kashuk Bent eyeliner. And this is how I get my perfect flick for eyeliner because people always ask. And it's hard. Using gel eyeliner is really hard. I almost quit several times because I just didn't think I could do it. And this made it so easy. You can get this at Target, it's a few dollars, and it's bent so it's easy to get right up close to the lash line. Now for color all over the lid, I have 2 brushes to show you. First is my Sigma E55. This is my favorite brush for putting color all over the lid. It's extremely soft, and since it's so big, it's easy just to pat the color on there, like you barely have to pat it, and you have your whole lid covered. So this is my favorite brush for putting color all over the lid. This one came in my Paris palette as well. And then if you can't get Sigma or you're on a budget, another one that's awesome is the e.l.f. brush. And I don't know what this one's called. Eyeshadow brush is all it says. This is $1, I believe. It's not as dense, it's not as thick as the Sigma brush, but for $1, you really can't beat it. So now for putting color on the lower lash line, it can be really hard to get color down there because you don't want it to run down your face. The first one I love is the Sigma E15. This is the flat definer brush. You need this brush if you don't have it. I also use this for my eyebrows, but it's amazing for the lower lash line as well to get color right up in there and it doesn't hurt, but it's dense. But then to blend it out, I use the Bare Minerals Precision Eye Brush, and I don't know if they still sell this because I've had it for like ever. Like, I've had it forever. And that's the reason I haven't. Sigma has a pencil brush that I would recommend. I'll link it down below. And that's the one that I want to buy, but I have this so I haven't bought it. But I use a pencil brush to smudge out it even more because it's going to smudge out that color that you put. So these 2 are the ones I use for my lower lash line. And then another brush I love, this can be face or eyes. This is the Sigma Precision Round P82. I've been using this for the past month. This is kind of a recent discovery for me as far as usage, and I feel like I can't live without it now. What I do is I dip this into my Soft Ochre Paint Pot by MAC and I put it all over the lid. And it's so easy. I don't have to dip my fingers in there anymore, and I have nails now, so it's kind of hard. But I love this for getting all over the lid, that primer, it's perfect. Another thing I use this for is foundation, like around my eyebrows, my nose, right here. It's perfect. So to actually fill in my brows, I always use a little angled brush. This is a small angle by Sigma. It's the E85. And It's amazing. You can also use it for eyeliner, so sometimes I'll use it to set like a brown eyeliner with brown eyeshadow, and it's perfect. So those are all of my favorite brushes and ones that I recommend. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions down below. If I missed something, just let me know and I'll try to answer it as quickly as I can. Side note, so I filmed a video on my hair and I got it done again today because I wanted more color. So that should be coming soon if you guys are still interested. Let me know if you're interested in seeing a video about my hair or how I condition it, anything like that. Let me know and I'll make one. So thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.